There's a lot of things that don't get said in classes that students don't hear enough. And there's hard truths about the animation industry. The first thing is it's difficult to get in. It's especially coming from a student level these days, the bar is very high. There's a lot of competition because the technology is more and more accessible. There's more and more education out there, and it's just difficult. So my advice to that is just to be persistent, and that will come up a lot in this talk, I think. Persistence will pay off. It can also be difficult to stay in. So once you're in the industry, burnout can happen. The hours are often very long, especially when it comes to visual effects. It can be very brutal, and it's easy to get taken advantage of. What I want you all to do is, number one, to value yourselves as people and as artists, because I think it's very important to remember that these companies need you just as much as you need them in a lot of cases. They may not act like it. They may think, oh, well, you're a junior and whatever. Juniors are an integral part of a production as well, because you can't have just all seniors necessarily. There's different levels, and you're going to be responsible for different parts of a production. So know your worth and don't let people take advantage of you if you can. I know it's difficult, especially starting out. People are going to demand a lot from you, but always advocate for yourself. Make sure that if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling tired, if you're not feeling well, your health comes first. Always take care of yourself first, and don't let this career and this love for this career steamroll you, because it will happen. I've seen people that are really great animators just go really hard. They work crazy hours and they're just burnt out by the end of the show. Advocate for yourself and take care of yourself. You have to have your health, okay? And make sure when you're getting started, sometimes people will be looking for free work and low-cost work. Try not to let them take advantage of you. Make sure that they get you stuff in writing if you're doing freelance stuff, and just know that there are people like that out there that will try and take advantage of you in your situation because they think, oh, they're students, we can do this. And then budgeting, as you go along, there's going to be layoffs, right? So that was part of the difficulty staying in. Layoffs are always going to happen. This isn't a job where you get hired and then you're hired for the rest of your life and you're going to spend 30 years at the same company. Like, that doesn't happen anymore really in any industry, but definitely not in animation. You're mainly hired by the productions that you work on, the movie or the TV show that you work on, and you have a contract to work on that, and that might be it until that company has more work. My advice is always to be ready with your materials, have your resume and reel ready at all times, even when you have a job, because you never know when it's going to happen. And also budget your money so that you aren't living on, paycheck to paycheck as much as possible, that you're saving money and you're preparing for the inevitable downtime, because there will be downtime. And companies, at the end of the day, they're there to make money and they're there to be profitable, and they can't keep people on when there's no work, and work comes and goes. Just know that this stuff happens. It definitely sucks, but this is a career that I think is worth having and it's worth fighting for. And if animation is something that you really love, then it's definitely worth pursuing, because there are things that suck in every career. I also hear people saying, like, complaining about the industry a lot and complaining that this kind of stuff sucks. And yeah, it sucks. But there's, if you plan for it and you prepare for it, there's ways of making it manageable and building a career out of it. And that's kind of what I've been able to do. So first thing, getting the job. Like I said, sometimes getting in is the hardest thing. Your demo reel is the most important part of your application. Here's some common things to look for as you put yours together. Put your best stuff first. I know it's probably kind of common thinking, but I think some people are like, oh, I'll save it for the end and I'll hit them with my best stuff and I'll go out, and it's like, yeah, that's great. But if a lot of times people put in a reel and they don't see something good on the first shot, they might not even watch the rest of it. So hit them with your best stuff first. If you have enough to put a really great shot at the end too, then that's also great to go out with a bang, but always put your best stuff first. Quality over quantity. A reel doesn't have to be super long. You have to be selective. It doesn't have to have every single thing you've ever done. Especially now, like I was saying, when you're getting your first jobs, your entry-level jobs, the bar is high, and people have seen weight lifts. They've seen even, a lot of body mechanics tests now. The trick is to kind of do something entertaining as well, because this job is all about entertainment and creating entertainment. If you can find a way to do a weight lift that's funny, that tells a little bit of a story, that's going to set you a little bit above everyone else. And I've seen people, to talk about quality over quantity, I've seen people get hired with reels that are between 30 and 45 seconds long for entry-level stuff. You just need to show that you can do really good polished acting, that you can do some body mechanics, and that you can be creative. Those are kind of like the main three things. Like, you have a voice, you have something that you can say through your work. And that's what really gets people excited. When they see those things, try and show a variety of skills and know what a shot is on your reel for. So as you get into your career and you start getting more and more shots, think, all right, what am I really trying to show? What kind of work do I want to be doing? Because that's the other thing. Sometimes, when you first start out, you're doing stuff for commercials or you're doing creature stuff. And if you really want to be doing acting stuff or feature animation, like was with my case, then you have to put that kind of stuff on your reel. So I spent a lot of time making my own tests, just the way you all are doing in this class, and trying to show the type of work I wanted to do. As you're putting things together, this is kind of a way to edit it down. Think about, all right, if I have 2 shots of a run cycle, do I really need both? Why not? Pick the best one. Pick the one that shows the most character, the most story to it, and has the best mechanics. You don't need to show, multiple versions of the same kind of thing. Then choose good moments over flashy animation. Employers want something memorable to latch onto. And this is some advice that I got from a friend of mine when I was applying at Disney. And I said, like, what are you guys looking for? Like, what is it that I need to show? And he said, well, we watch all the reels in a group, and then we go back into another room and we talk about them. And the stuff that bubbles to the top, or the stuff that really stands out, is the stuff that we remember. The creative stuff, the entertaining stuff, tends to shine. It doesn't have to be, the most flourishy, polished, long shots. It's a great moment, and it has some great characters, some great entertainment and attitude to it. That's going to really stand out. If you don't succeed at first, keep trying. And this kind of speaks to the perseverance end of things, right? Improve the reel and reapply once you've made a significant change. And seek feedback from trade shows if you can. A lot of times now there's reel reviews available. I applied to Sony probably 5 or 6 times before I even got in the first time. You have to just keep trying, and I would always try and put new stuff in my reel. I like get inspired to make a new shot and just try and find stuff that I really enjoyed animating, and keep doing that, and it'll get you there. You just, like, little by little. Usually I say, at least, if a company has passed on a reel, you need to change like at least 50% of it or so before you reapply, and try and seek feedback and find out what they're looking for. And then sometimes it'll just come down to timing and situation. It can be frustrating, and you just get passed over for a job, or you're just not in the right place at the right time. But if you keep trying, eventually you will be. You will be in the right place at the right time with the right stuff, and it's really sweet when it all comes together. So just stick with it. And that's why I say, always have your reel and resume and website ready. Keep them up to date, because you never know when you're going to run into somebody, especially if you're in a town like Los Angeles or something where you're meeting lots of people all the time that are in the same industry. Networking is really important, so have that stuff ready. If you have a really easy website, like I just have myname.com, if you can get that, that's great. Host your reel on there and just say, here, you can write it down super easy and people can get to it. Make it easy to access. Have your resume ready to go. Have it all there, because you never know when you're going to need it. And when it comes to the reel, don't spend time on fancy graphics or logos. Keep titles simple and elegant. And that's something that I did when I first started out. I spent all this time making animated titles and all that stuff. Like, it's great, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What we're looking at is the animation. Just a nice, clean font on a black title card, maybe a little texture in the background, like what I have now, but it doesn't need to be super flashy. In fact, you want it to be not flashy, because you don't want it to take attention away from your animation, right?